Hi, everyone, and welcome. I'm Alim Giga, a partner at Spike Ventures, the fund focused on the Stanford community. My deep dive will explore the potential unsavory uses of generative AI, particularly how it can be leveraged to commit fraud. This is just a quick agenda of what will be covered from defining the space, trends, and opportunities to interesting companies in the sector and more. Let's jump in. By now, most of us are familiar with generative AI, such as ChatGPT, that can be used to create new content, including text, images, code, audio simulations, and video. Recent breakthroughs in the field have the potential to drastically change the way we approach content creation. The models generate new content by referring back to the data they have been trained on, making new predictions. While generative AI is driving efficiencies, personalization, and improvements in multiple areas, it's also a technology being adopted by fraudsters. Generative AI can be used to create highly personalized and convincing messages that are tailored to a specific victim. By analyzing publicly available social media profiles and other personal information, scammers can use generative AI to create fake accounts, emails, images, phone calls, or videos that mimic the voice and mannerisms of a family member. These are referred to as deepfakes. The use of this technology can make it particularly difficult to distinguish between real and fake communication, leading to increased vulnerability and susceptibility to fraud. Deepfakes are videos, audios, or images meant to look like a person said or did something that they didn't. They are created by feeding the existing media of a person into software programs that use a kind of AI called deep learning. The AI learns key traits of its subjects, such as facial features, mannerisms, or the way the person speaks, and it learns the traits of other people too. It uses all this data to create new or manipulated images, videos, or audio. AI can also create pictures of people who do not actually exist through what is called generative adversarial networks, or GANs for short. GANs leverage AI to create images and multimedia using input from both imagery and text. GANs tend to pose the most risk when it comes to generating disinformation with deepfakes because they can create highly realistic images that can be difficult to tell they were created by AI. When deepfake photos, voices, or videos succeed at twisting reality, the deception can disrupt targets as large as countries and as small as individuals. In 2021, a deepfake voice was used to dupe the branch manager of a Japanese company into transferring $35 million to fraudsters. In 2022, a Canadian family gave $9,800 to a phone scammer who used their son's cloned voice to convince them that he needed bail money. And now that even smartphone software can generate deepfakes, the amount of intentionally misleading online content is truly exploding. The World Economic Forum estimates that the number of online deepfake videos is growing by 900% per year. In recent months, we've seen a number of deepfake examples generated by generative AI going viral on social media. The imagery created by this technology is so realistic, it's fooled millions of people around the world. In March 2023, a photo of Pope Francis wearing a white puffer jacket went viral on social media. The image was shared far and wide and covered in numerous publications, but there was just one problem. The image was a deepfake created in an AI tool called Midjourney that is used to generate deepfakes. How to handle Gen AI fraud, also referred to as synthetic fraud, is a billion-dollar question. Fraud losses are expected to hit nearly $5 billion by 2024. With all the excitement of Gen AI companies in the VC ecosystem, many companies that help generate fake avatars, voices, and videos have received quite a bit of funding from investors. VCs have invested over $187 million into companies in this space. Of course, not with the intent to help spur on synthetic fraud, but with every technology, there are always bad actors looking to exploit it. Companies to help detect and prevent synthetic fraud have not received the same level of investment, but are starting to gain momentum as fraudulent activity continues to increase. While such synthetic media has been around for several years, it's been turbocharged over the past year by a slew of generative AI tools, such as Midjourney, that makes it cheaper and easier to create convincing deepfakes. Tools that can generate deepfakes are being released with few or imperfect guardrails to prevent harmful misinformation as the tech sector engages in an AI arms race. There have been 3 times as many video deepfakes and 8 times as many voice deepfakes posted online this year, compared to the same time period in 2022, according to Deep Media, a company working on tools to detect synthetic media. In total, about 500,000 video and voice deepfakes will be shared on social media sites globally in 2023. Cloning a voice used to cost $10,000 in server and AI training costs up until late last year, but now startups offer it for a few dollars. The global market for deepfake detection was $3.86 billion in 2022 and is poised to expand at a compound annual growth rate of 42% through 2026, according to the global research firm HSRC. Let's take a look at ways generative AI can be used for fraudulent activities. We've discussed some of them already, such as deepfakes. Some of the other uses include text creation. Text generators can craft deceptive emails, counterfeit reviews, or other misleading written content. Image creation. AI models can generate counterfeit product visuals, forged ID cards, or other deceptive images. Audio generation. Generative AI can simulate voice recordings or calls that trick people to providing private information. Synthetic data. Generative AI can fabricate data such as bogus client records or transactions, aiding deception or avoiding detection. Automated fraud. Scammers can employ generative AI for large-scale cons, such as creating fake identities or making illicit transactions. This is just the beginning. As Gen AI advancements continue, so will the ways fraudsters can take advantage of it. Criminals on the dark web have access to Gen AI offerings that are similar to ChatGPT, but do not have any guardrails, so it can be used for malicious purposes. FraudGPT, a subscription-based malicious Gen AI tool, has the potential to lower the barriers to commit fraud by employing sophisticated machine learning algorithms to create deceptive content. Unlike ethical AI models, FraudGPT knows no boundaries, making it a versatile tool for various nefarious purposes. It can craft phishing emails, fraudulent invoices, fake news articles, and more, which can be used in cyber attacks, online scams, public opinion manipulation, and the creation of undetectable malware and phishing campaigns. The use of GPT-based tools like FraudGPT have the potential to significantly impact cybersecurity and contribute to fraudulent activities. Common cases include automated social engineering and phishing attacks. FraudGPT demonstrates generative AI's ability to support convincing pre-texting scenarios that can mislead victims into compromising their identities and access privileges and the corporate networks. For example, attackers can ask ChatGPT to write science fiction stories about how a successful social engineering or phishing strategy worked, tricking the tool into providing attack guidance. Automated discovery of cybercrime resources. Generative AI will shrink the time it takes to complete manual research to find new vulnerabilities, hunt for and harvest compromised credentials, learn new hacking tools, and master the skills needed to launch sophisticated cybercrime campaigns. Attackers at all skill levels will use it to discover unprotected endpoints, attack unprotected threat surfaces, and launch attack campaigns based on insights gained from simple prompts. Difficulty of detection and attribution. FraudGPT and future weaponized generative AI apps and tools will be designed to reduce detection and attribution to the point of anonymity. Because no hard coding is involved, security teams will struggle to attribute AI-driven attacks to a specific threat group or campaign based on forensic artifacts or evidence. Weaponized generative AI will make that available to every attacker eventually. There is a wide range effect of generative AI fraud, particularly with the growing prevalence of deepfakes. As the table illustrates, there are 3 levels at which deepfakes can cause harm: individual, organizational, and societal. At the individual level, the majority of news and attention around deepfakes centers around celebrity videos, character defamation, misinformation, and hoaxes. Certain deepfakes showing unsavory actions can be used as an instrument for coercion, abuse, and intimidation. There's also concern about deepfakes being used in politics. Deepfakes have been used to misrepresent politicians and impact public political opinion through this misrepresentation. These videos, though often eventually identified as deepfakes, can have a significant impact on people's opinions and perceptions. At the organizational level, creating fake videos about a company or top executives saying inflammatory statements can cause fluctuations in share price and brand reputation. In 2023, a deepfake video of Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella was used to spread disinformation about the company's cloud computing platform. The video appeared to show Nadella admitting that Microsoft Azure was less secure than its competitors' platforms. However, the video was actually a deepfake, and Nadella never made such a statement. The rise of deepfake technologies coincides with and risks worsening a wider set of societal problems relating to trust and truth in the information ecosystem. The idea that seeing is believing is a powerful one, and disrupting it could intensify patterns of disinformation that threaten informed decision-making in democratic societies. Deepfakes also sow doubt about authentic content. This can undermine trust among well-intentioned people, but can also provide an excuse for dishonest actors to dismiss incriminating evidence as fake. The impact of deepfakes on reputation, credibility, and authenticity can be substantial and severe. Several experts fear the impact of deepfakes on public perception, particularly as the rate of growth regarding believability of deepfakes outpaces public awareness of them. Key success factors and checkpoints. What are ways to mitigate these type of fraudulent activities? Fight AI with AI. Leverage AI to fight bad actors. In today's digital landscape, businesses face increased fraud risk. To combat this, business must use the same weapons as criminals and train AI-based tools to detect and prevent fraudulent activities. Fraud prediction and detection. Generative AI can analyze historical data to predict future fraudulent activities. By analyzing patterns in data and identifying potential risk factors, generative AI can help fraud examiners anticipate and prevent fraudulent behavior. Machine learning algorithms can analyze patterns in data to identify suspicious behavior and flag it for further investigation. In addition to preventing fraud, generative AI can assist fraud examiners investigating suspicious activities by generating scenarios and identifying potential suspects. By analyzing email communications and social media activity, generative AI can uncover hidden connections between suspects and identify potential fraudsters. Synthetic data generation. Utilizing generative AI to create synthetic data sets that mimic the behavior of fraudsters can enhance existing data sets, providing a more robust training for machine learning models that effectively identifies fraudulent transactions. AI governance and models can help reduce fraud by providing accountability, traceability, and transparency to machine learning models. By improving the transparency of AI models, by establishing and enforcing clear standards of model development, deployment, and monitoring, it can help to identify and mitigate potential sources of fraud, such as model bias and data poisoning, a type of adversarial attack against machine learning models that involves manipulating the training dataset by injecting false or malicious data. The goal of data poisoning is to control the behavior of the trained machine learning model and deliver false results. Certain things to be aware of or avoid include rule-based fraud detection uses a set of predefined rules to identify and flag potential fraudulent transactions. These rules are typically based on patterns and trends that have been observed in historical data. However, rule-based detection can be fooled by new and sophisticated types of fraud. It can generate a lot of false positives, which can lead to wasted resources and customer frustration. It is vulnerable to new scenarios and never learned, making it necessary to constantly update the rules. Hence, it's not sufficient to combat generative AI fraud. The generative AI's ability to generate synthetic data, customer verification is a must. Customer verification can help to detect synthetic identities by looking for patterns and inconsistencies in the customer's data. For example, a customer verification system might flag a customer as suspicious if they have a new account but no credit history. Customer verification systems can also use additional factors such as two-factor authentication to protect customer accounts from unauthorized access. Black box AI models are often referred to as black boxes because the user has no visibility into how the model arrives at its conclusions. This lack of transparency makes it difficult to understand how the model is making its decisions, which can make it difficult to identify and correct biases in the data used to train the model. They are not ideal for deterring fraud because they lack transparency, are difficult to validate, are vulnerable to bias, are difficult to explain, and have limited flexibility. Instead, explainable AI models that provide transparent accountability are better suited for fraud detection and prevention. Let's take a look at the hits. Machine learning models are trained with real and fraudulent data to be able to differentiate between the two that can help the models better distinguish between good and bad data. Accuracy rates for detecting real versus fake data is quite important to garner trust that these models used to scan data are actually working. The US is looking to pass regulations to prevent deepfakes. There's legislation being proposed called the Deepfake Accountability Act that is designed to address the issue of deepfakes. The bill would make it illegal to create or distribute deepfakes that are intended to deceive the public or cause someone harm. Several states, including Virginia, Texas, California, and New York, have already passed laws regulating deepfakes, and more will likely follow. As deepfake crimes increase, it will shine a light on the need for more solutions and investment into the space. Moving on to the misses, venture capital investment in synthetic AI deepfake companies continues to grow, despite the fact that these companies can be used for fraudulent activities. This is likely due to the fact that synthetic AI deepfake technology has a wide range of potential applications, including in entertainment, advertising, and gaming industries. However, the growth of this technology also raises concerns about the potential for fraud. Companies underestimating the need for smarter fraud detection solutions because they are not aware of the full potential of synthetic AI deepfake technology. Many companies believe that their existing fraud detection solutions are sufficient, but this is not the case. Synthetic AI deepfake technology is constantly evolving, and fraudsters are becoming more sophisticated in their use of this technology. Companies also don't have the necessary infrastructure or talent to combat generative AI fraud. Synthetic AI deepfake detection is a complex and challenging problem and requires specialized expertise and resources. Many companies do not have the necessary infrastructure or talent in-house to combat generative AI fraud. To address these challenges, companies need to invest in smarter fraud detection solutions and develop the necessary infrastructure and talent to combat generative AI fraud. Companies should also work together to develop industry-wide standards for synthetic AI deepfake detection and prevention. I've highlighted a few companies that are looking to tackle the generative AI fraud space. Reality Defender is an enterprise-grade deepfake detection platform that offers real-time analysis and proactive protection against damaging deepfakes and generative content. They scan images, videos, text, and audio in real time with their API or through the web app to detect deepfakes and AI-generated content on day one. The offering helps to verify voice prints, detect doctored documents, and enhance fraud prevention capabilities. The company recently raised a Series A led by DCVC. Oscillator is developing an industry-first generative AI offering to combat fraudulent online transactions. Their risk decisioning offering will enable companies to make fraud and risk-related decisions with greater velocity and precision. Oscillator will be different from current fraud and risk tools because it will scour data from the most comprehensive open and closed sources, build fraud knowledge on top of it, and use AI to bring this information together in a unified way. As a result, Oscillator, equipped with context-aware conversational AI, will automatically recognize potential fraud patterns and make recommendations on how to resolve threats in real time through a natural language interface. Resemble AI offers various services and tools related to voice generation, text-to-speech, conversion, and deepfake detection. Resemble AI provides a text-to-speech converter that can generate natural human-like AI voices. Users can input text and choose from a range of customizable AI voices to bring their audio to life. The company offers AI voice cloning technology, allowing users to generate realistic text-to-speech audio using their own voice data. This service is useful for film, gaming, marketing, and other projects that require unique and identifiable voices. Now, with more than 1 million users and 35 years worth of audio generated in the last 12 months, Resemble AI is focused on addressing AI fraud and safety concerns. Resemble Detect validates the authenticity of audio data to expose deepfake audio in real time with up to 98% accuracy. The new offering analyzes audio across all forms of media and against all modern generative AI speech synthesis solutions. The company is backed by Craft Ventures, Javelin Venture Partners, and Comcast. Inscribe helps companies detect fraud, automate processes, and understand creditworthiness so they can approve more customers faster. Tackling the pain point for document-heavy manual review workflows that are costing banks millions of dollars every year and not catching fraud. Inscribe parses, classifies, and data matches financial onboarding documents, highlighting any differences between the documents provided and documents recovered using its AI-powered fraud detection. The company is backed by Crosslink Capital and Threshold Ventures. Moving on to deduce. Fraudsters can leverage AI and stolen PII to create batches of credible digital identities, authenticate those identities with deepfake biometrics, and create online transactional histories. Utilizing this technology, criminals can leverage automation to create a virtual army of super synthetic identities that are indistinguishable from legitimate identities. Deduce's fraud detection measures identify digital forensics patterns that appear to have been generated by AI, checked against the world's largest purpose-built activity-backed digital identity graph encompassing 840 million US-based email identities and more than 150,000 websites and apps to prevent identity fraud. The company is backed by True Ventures and Freestyle Capital. The last company I'd like to highlight is Effective. You no longer have to step into a bank to open an account as things are moving online. Now that banks can't rely on seeing people in person, there is a greater need for fraud checks to be done in real time. As mentioned previously, fraudsters are equipped with generative AI tools to simulate people, signatures, and voices. Effective has developed AI-driven tools including payment fraud detection, customer and business onboarding verification, and compliance management, and models that are trained to detect that simulated behavior. It does this in two ways. One, to identify if the behavior is normal, for example, the time of day, the device being used, how it is being held, the transaction amount. Then Effective applies an anomaly score to that behavior so that the user can tell which ones need to be scrutinized further. Second, the company creates a model that is trained on low fraud patterns compared to the anomaly. The company is backed by Excel and Better Tomorrow Ventures. I provided some additional resources if you'd like to learn more about this space. Companies of all stages, from startups like Persona and Sardine to more established companies like Experian and LinkedIn, are offering their perspectives on generative AI fraud. Generative AI is revolutionizing the landscape with its ability to significantly boost productivity, spark creativity, and enhance efficiency. However, this technology also presents risks, as individuals with malicious intent, often referred to as bad actors, can exploit it for deceitful activities such as fraud. The prevalence of deepfakes, which can be convincingly mimic personal identities and deceive individuals or systems, is soaring. These deepfakes are frequently employed in committing identity theft and executing sophisticated phishing operations. To counter these fraudulent activities, the following strategies are being explored: employing advanced AI to detect, neutralize fraudulent AI activities, essentially pitting good AI against bad AI. Enhancing the training of AI models with both authentic and fabricated data, which helps these models to better differentiate between legitimate and deceitful inputs, thereby improving their predictive capabilities and the accuracy of their authenticity. There are some promising startups popping up in the space, and as generative AI adoption continues, hopefully so will the guardrails and security to help ensure it keeps the bad use cases at bay. Thanks for taking the time to listen to my deep dive, and I hope that it helps shed some light on generative AI fraud and some ways to mitigate the risks.